Start recording. Yeah. What's up, FVACSP? Here is a how-to tutorial. I'm going to break down a piece of code. Some of you may recognize it because it's yours, but I don't think there's a name on it here anywhere. Nope, there isn't, so that's good. I can keep this recording. Let's go through it, actually. I'm going to dump a couple pieces of code real quick because it might give away who it is. Boom, there you go. You didn't see that. All right, so here is a program. It's actually really interesting the way that it works. It's doing a lot of things right, but it's not quite getting exactly what a pictogram should be, right? Like it's putting up some different numbers. So I'm going to go through a potential correction process. Now, it's not always your solution's not always going to be the same. But one of the things that I see that kind of jumps out is that the arrays are set up correctly, and there are some variables defined to begin with, which is good. Go ahead and get those definitions out of the way. Instantiate your variables, whether they are an integer or they're an array or they're a string, whatever. Go ahead and get them done right in the beginning of your program. Good method, good plan. Here's so picture array, data array. Down here, what's interesting is set food sprite to sprite value. Value is coming from this for loop. I see some potential conflicts here. The first thing I'm probably going to do is I'm going to break this for loop from a yeah, I'm gonna actually get a, instead of for element, I'm gonna get a for index. That way I'm building a for loop that will adapt to the different array sizes. And so then what I need is I need to grab from arrays. I want to get length of array. So now I have for index from 0 to length of, well, not list. I want it to be the length of this. So that one is called picture array. So let's go like that. And that's going to replace this for element loop. And so let's go ahead and pull this out and plug it in there. And now I should be able to get rid of that. Plug this in here. Let's see if I broke anything terribly. It is not drawing, but that's okay. We will see. So for index, it's because it doesn't have the right dependencies. I just want to see what this is going to do. All right, that gets us something on the screen. It's not what we want, but that's because there's a little bit of conflict here inside of this repeat. I'm just kind of looking here. I actually don't think you need this for loop. So I'm actually going to drop that for loop out. And so now I'm going to use this repeat. Well, I don't want it to repeat 4 times. I want it to repeat however many times I have instances or indices here in my data array. So all I have to do is go to arrays, and I can get the value from the data array. So repeat this many times, data array, get value at the current index. Okay. So set food sprite to, well, it's not going to be value. It's going to be from picture array, but let's see what that does. I wonder if that will run. Oh, it's not. Oops, we could not run this project. Please check your, so there's a error here. Let's see what that is. Click on it. Argument of type image is not assignable to parameter, so there's a conflict here. So I think I can get the value though. Let's try get rid of that. And then picture array, get value at index. That work? Whoa. Hey, 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 oh, hey, look at that. Looky there. It's working. Okay, so really just had to work through the different ways of accessing the data in an array. Okay, so here we chose to get a value for the length of the picture array, which currently is has index 0, 1, 2, 3. So the length is 4. So we're going to run a for loop. We're going to index it from 0 to 4. And that last index actually is not included because it's counting from 0. So 0 to 4 is actually 0, 1, 2, 3, which is 4 values, but not including that last one. Then we're going to repeat accessing the data array and getting the value at the current index. So the first time you run this loop right here, this for loop, the first time you run it, your index is 0. So it's going to go to the data array and it's going to get the value at index 0, which is a random number between 0 and 8. You could change it to 1 and 9. That's how I like to show mine. So let's just change this one to 1 and 9. And there's 1. And 2, 4, 6, 8. If there's 9, you might not see it because of the spacing. So this person's game probably is best to leave at 8. I think 0 is a little off-putting or disconcerting because it goes away. It disappears. So instead using 1, so there's always something, at least 1 present on the pictograph. Just for illustration purposes, I think it's a little bit better to do it that way. And that's it. I think everything fully works. So that is a potential solution to going through and troubleshooting the code to see if you can come up with a way to make a program work that is not currently working. Again, don't be afraid of using the arrays drawer to access the length of array, to get values at specific places in the array. You can even get and remove values. So feel free to explore this. Try some different things. There's lots of different ways to use that code. So I highly encourage it. Now, one thing I want to do before I end is I'm going to test this a little bit. I'm going to add 2 more food sprites here, which I need a better view. So let's do lemon and chicken wing. And then I need to add 2 more integers, 2 more indices to my data array, and then watch what happens when the program renders. It automatically adjusted to running for 6 as opposed to 4. Boom, and everything seems to be functioning properly still. So I would call it a success. I would call this a very successful program. It does some things maybe in a different way than what you would see as best. It may do things in a way that's not perfect or less than ideal, but that is the purpose of computer science, is learning how to code, learn how to program, and then continue learning how to do it better. It's what we call a minimally viable product. The MVP, or minimally viable product, may not be the best version. Often it isn't the best version, but it is one that works. It is one that functions. And so this is a good example of that, taking something that sort of works, doesn't quite work right, and then working through to getting it to work perfect or getting it to work as intended, and then continuing to refine. So I hope you find this helpful. Spend some time looking at the code, looking at your own code, working through finding solutions to the problems that we have. This is Mr. Graff saying, as always, stay positive out there, coders.